Hello and welcome to Class Solutions Dental Education Podcast, the podcast series where we share knowledge and experience to provide value to you and your dental practice. I'm your host, Phil Cole. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about membership plans. We want to give you a dental-specific perspective on setting up a membership plan in your office and how it can be a revenue generator for you. And today, I am very privileged to be joined by Jane Levy, co-founder and CEO of Plan Forward, and she's going to be sharing her thoughts with us. So, Jane, welcome. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Thanks so much, Phil, and very excited to be on this podcast. I'm also excited to join the Class family as a partner, and I'm looking forward to doing some great things together. And certainly helping our dental practices position themselves better for growth and for, just getting better leverage in negotiating with payers. And that is the reason that I actually joined Plan Forward about 4 years ago. So at the time, I had met Meg Lohman, who is the founder of the company, and we met in New York City, where I live, and we met for lunch on an arbitrary Thursday in October, and she convinced me to join the company and to join with her in bringing kind of a solution to dental practices, really the means by which they can better serve their uninsured patients, grow their own production, get better control over, their fee schedule essentially, and some leverage over negotiation with payers. So that was the genesis of me joining Plan Forward and the rationale why. So just recently we came across Class Solutions. We were very impressed with everything that you bring to the dental practices. We certainly, in the short while that we've known you, have certainly found a meeting of the minds, and are looking forward to this partnership. So I'm excited to be on this podcast.
Well, thank you very much. So, I mean, and we are too, because we are firm believers in a membership plan. I think that especially nowadays with insurances being such a hassle, and with everybody, I know for us, we get a ton of people asking us, can I go fee for service? Of which it is the most popular thing, I think, right now. So I guess just to go back into the very beginning stages, tell us on your perspective, because you guys actually are running these membership plans. Why are membership plans? I mean, I can say it on a coaching perspective, but give us your perspective why membership plans are so important for a practice. And in my opinion, I feel, and maybe you can tell me if you agree or not, I feel like it's a must. You have to have it in a practice, and if you don't, you're just missing out on way too much. But what's your view on the importance of it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So obviously we've had a lot of inflation most recently. So in real terms, reimbursements from payers have been declining. So flat at best, but in inflationary times, even declining. So we hear practices talk about being reimbursed 50 cents on the dollar from payers, and obviously this strikes at the core. So you'll speak to a dental practice that is chock-a-block full, their hygiene funnel. They cannot take any more patients, through August, say, and we do an evaluation of the capacity of that practice, and we realize that, let's say upwards of 50% of their patient base is insured, but they're getting reimbursed 50 cents on the dollar. So the logic is, if you drop out of network with your worst performing payers and instead offer those, previously insured patients a membership instead, what you can do as a dental practice is essentially replace that insured patient, or a set of insured patients. So let's say 10 insured patients, you can replace them with 3 members and earn the same in terms of production. And so for practices that are super, super busy, membership is a great way to really give patients the care that they deserve, to not overwork your providers, and really it's a win-win. So for certain practices that are in network, it's a slam dunk for that reason. We do a lot of analysis on the business impact of membership. Obviously, it's crucial to the ROI discussion and whether membership works or not. In fact, most recently, Plan Forward has come out with an analytics dashboard, which syncs with the practice management data and can show you in real time what the business impact is from a production standpoint. And I know that CLAS does a lot of analytics as well. Obviously, our own analytics only pertain to members, whereas your analytics is far reaching. So the ROI for membership is very clear. And you can certainly see right there that an uninsured patient compared to a membership patient from a production standpoint, the production of a member can be 2 to 3 times as high. And the rationale or the reasoning why is because when a patient signs up for a membership, they are committing to coming in twice a year. They're committing to hygiene recall, and they're paying for that upfront in a way that's usually use it or lose it, just like a gym membership. And so, so your hygiene production goes up typically. So whereas previously an uninsured patient might visit the practice only once every 18 months on average, now they are committing to coming in twice a year. In addition, once your hygiene funnel is now full of members, folks who are coming in regularly and they're taking x-rays because that's typically bundled in the membership, you have the opportunity for far more diagnostics. And so typically you are diagnosing more treatment. Patients, because of their relationship with the practice and feeling a part of that dental community, tend to accept more of that treatment. And so in general terms, you'd expect production per member to be 2 to 3 times higher than an uninsured patient. Of course, there is variability, and I'm talking about on average, but that's kind of the expectation. There are also the impacts on no-show rate, which tends to decline with members. Hygiene recall obviously is almost 100%. Perio uptake, a lot of practices offer perio plans specifically focused on perio patients. So their perio protocol tends to be more in line with the industry average, which is about 25% of all patients suffer from perio and should get those, that more regular treatment. So, so there are so many good knock-on effects from membership. And so more and more we're seeing practices realize that this is a vital part of their arsenal. And, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us is when we see when we're doing fee analysis and when we're looking at some of these insurances, first of all, I think that when we analyze fees for most practices, they're nowhere near the 80th percentile where they should be. I mean, we're seeing, and I don't know if that's the same for you too, when you kind of look at how you analyze, because when you got to put the plan together, I mean, we just see 50s. Very consistently 50s. If you get a couple 60s, you're doing pretty good. Every once in a while, I look at it as you'll get the unicorn practice that has their fees in line. And I think that when people don't understand how you can leverage the membership plan for a lot of those insurances, if those insurances are going to keep you down into the 40th and 50th percentile, I just don't think that people do the math, and it's not that difficult to me. At least I don't think it's that difficult. You just got to be able to do the math, and that's the one thing that I really appreciate you guys is you actually do way more math than I feel anybody else that I've come across that helps with a membership plan. And when you see that math, like you just said, you're getting only 50%, 50 cents on a dollar, then you might as well get out of that plan. But the problem is what we run across is doctors don't want to get out of that plan because they feel they're going to lose that patient, and they don't have enough. To me, they don't have enough trust in their own goodwill that is offered into their practice. But on the other hand, I think a lot of times it's because they don't have a membership plan, or they have their own in-house one that they're trying to do, but no one promotes it because they don't like it because it's too difficult to deal with. And so I guess that kind of goes back to that same thing is I mean, like, how do you feel, how do you look at Plan Forward leveraging, use that to leverage in a person's practice, why that membership plan, all the different aspects of what you can do to leverage that your program in there, because I don't think people realize the dollar amount they're missing out on.
Oh, so many good points. So one thing I do want to stress is one of the ways that Plan Forward is different is we do a very thorough pricing analysis when we first engage with a practice, and that involves looking at their standard fees relative to fair health, and then making a recommendation of the plans that we believe that they should offer on a 1-hour pricing analysis call. Truly, we've gone through an entire analysis for that practice, where we are figuring out, whether they should raise their standard fees prior to starting, and also, what kind of plans would be profitable for that practice. And so there is a lot of analysis that goes into understanding, the fee schedule and the adjusted fee schedule. And so first and foremost, these have to be profitable for the practice. Secondarily, once you've got a great plan in place, the key thing is to market that plan. And, this goes to your point on, there is some fear out there amongst practices on dropping payers and, will all their patient base disappear? So we definitely help our practices on an ongoing basis market their plans. And this not only involves, working with the office managers and front office staff to sell the plans to existing patients, because that's absolutely crucial, being able to value and the savings that the patient can enjoy on the plan, etc. So we position that office manager, perfectly to be able to speak to the plan's benefits. But we also help that practice with marketing collateral that is all white labeled. You would never see our brand on any of our collateral. And we also help that practice with outreach to dormant patients in the practice management system, or those with unscheduled treatment, and really just help them reactivate their existing patient base who have come into the practice previously, because this is such an alluring product and it's such a great way to, bring those folks back into the practice. So we've got lots of other tools on the marketing side, but we view that as absolutely crucial, because really it's the practice marketing their own plan. And we're putting the control back in the practice's hands, and we're really just supporting them to do all of that. So those are some of the crucial ways that we help. I'll just add one last one, which is that the way we really feel that we are differentiated, Phil, is that our team has 40 years of cumulative dental experience. So many members of our team have actually sat in a dental practice as hygienists, treatment coordinators, office managers, etc. And so we bring that knowledge and that experience to work every single day. And, being able to position that office manager best to sell the plan, we've sat in that chair before. So we know what you go through when a patient walks in and says, I don't know how to pay for my care.
Right.
So, yeah, so, that's really, it gives us kind of an edge a little bit.
I agree 100%. So one of the other things I thought was very unique, which I was very impressed with when we started to do our initial conversation with each other, was your software. I mean, the software to me is next level, and compared to all the other ones that I have seen out there. So, I mean, talk about your software a little bit and what it can provide to help offices, increase, because even on your website, I'm looking at, 75% patient renewal rates, you're increasing production up to 3 times, 25% patient opt-in. I know a lot of that has to do with this software, because I mean, like I said, it was powerful, and it even, I think, it incorporated a lot of stuff that other people are using other softwares for, to do some of that. So just give me just a little glimpse or rundown of your software and how that helps with collection, production, case acceptance, and stuff.
Great, thank you. So the software is, we definitely believe in product first, and if you've got a great product and a great team, it's a winning combination. So Meg runs product for Plan Forward. She brings to that role her experience working in a dental practice, but also her knowledge that she's built over the last 7 years building product. The product flows very easily. It's so simple to use, but it also contains some very powerful payment processing capabilities, automation for the front office. We integrate to almost every PMS. And that enables us to pull production numbers, etc., into our dashboard. So it becomes kind of the one-stop place where the front office can go to manage their plans, manage their members, but also check in and on an ongoing basis, make sure that the members have used services, which services they've used, so they never give away free services. It also has incredibly powerful reporting capability and analytics. So the practice can keep track of how many enrollments they've done, what the production by provider is, for example, for both the bundled services as well as the out-of-plan services. So there's, it's just it's a great, easy platform to manage, but also gives you a lot of insights. Table stakes with these membership plans is absolutely renewals, high renewals on the order of 70 to 75% on average. So that's absolutely crucial. So with very minimal effort, practices can renew a large complement of their members every year. That's, as I said, absolutely crucial, because this is all about lifting the load of the front office. But the platform's also built in, a lot of ease of use around enrolling members, either through the dashboard or through the website. Again, that speaks to the marketing that we do for the practice through the website. But the product is outstanding. And of course, if anybody wants to see a very quick demo, they're welcome to go to the website or just sign up for a quick demo, and I'm happy to show them.
Well, there's two that I will say that I think are very impressive, and they're simple, right? But one, I love the fact that you on your dashboard you have the ability to kind of create it like a morning huddle. We preach morning huddles all the time. I love the fact that in a morning huddle you want to know those patients are coming in, what they're coming in for, do they owe, and you guys have your software system hooked up exactly like that. What patients need to pay. They had a credit card that bounced, and maybe because of the expiration date. It's easy things to see, very easy to maneuver around in that and know. But I think the other thing that's key, to go back to kind of that production that you have on your website, that 3 times, is exactly what I think you said it so fast, maybe people didn't hear, so I want to repeat it. And that is the fact that you can keep track so easy, and you got to see this thing, folks. So I'm telling you, do a demo. How easy it is for them to see what services they used and what services they still have available. I mean, to maximize the production of every single patient by looking at a software system that easy and that quick, to me is, once again, you help eliminate the stress of wondering, going into all kinds of different softwares to search and find and stuff. With those people on that plan, you know exactly what you need to do to accomplish for that treatment planning for those patients, right? And what you got to get them in there for. And that, to me, is, I think, key. You guys did a phenomenal job with that.
Thanks, Phil. I mean, I think that is a key part of the platform, as you said. So if you recall how membership is structured, membership plans typically bundle, a bunch of in-plan hygiene services for a fixed price. And then there's also a discount off out of plan or restorative. And so it's crucial for the practice to track how many of those in-plan services each patient has actually used, so that they don't give away free services. And so the platform lets you track that, but also key to that high renewal rate is making sure that patients do actually use the services that are owed to them. So just, keeping that front of mind for the practice too, that, this patient has not used their second visit. Is it worth reaching out and bringing them back in? The genesis of the company, back to Meg's original vision, was always to position the practice in the best possible way. And, to make sure that they are doing right by their patients, but also, getting profitable services and maximizing essentially production. And so, and that's what these plans really do. They really help by bringing in that patient more frequently, and, giving them all the services and the time that they need to get proper oral care. you are then, maximizing the opportunity for them to accept treatment, and look after their mouths, really. So it's a
So
great win-win.
yeah, absolutely. So this is always the big topic for me is just, why should, how do you evaluate a membership plan is one, but I'm going to go one step farther on that, because I have people all the time that say, I'm not paying a company to manage my plan when I can do it on myself, do it on my own. But just in the last 2 months, I have been in South Carolina, where there is a meeting with a doctor that has to try to do their own membership plan. And I pulled up all their fees, and their membership plan, literally, if they sign people up for it, they're giving away over $150 a year to each patient for their services. So, and they said, well, I don't think that's right. I'm like, once again, it's math, right? You didn't analyze, or you didn't know how to analyze. And then the other one I saw just recently on a post, that they were bragging about how they're only charging $125 for a membership plan, and they're giving 25% off all other services in the practice, which to me is like, you might as well just sign up for PPO plans, you know what I mean? And other insurances, if you're going to take 25% off of everything you do, because even with the insurance plans, they don't cover every scenario. So that in itself was shocking. And I see this happen all the time with our coaches and what we come across. But I think the other thing is too, is I always run back into that. I don't need a membership plan. I'll do it in-house because I can do it cheaper. So kind of go with that, but also just when you are looking at companies, because we've looked at a lot of them, what is it that you want to really concentrate on when it comes to picking the right membership plan and company?
Oh, really, really good question. So I would say, 1 in 4 prospects that we speak to, practices, do have an in-house membership plan. And it is absolutely possible to run these in-house. I'll tell you some of the limitations. As you said, sometimes practices just come up with a number, or they do some research into, what this plan should be priced at. But maybe that was, from 5 years ago, and now you've got to raise pricing, but it's extremely hard to raise pricing on plans because everybody renews on a different day. So you have to call all your members every single day of the year on those renewal dates and mention that you're raising the pricing. And obviously with things that auto renew, obviously there are compliance rules, most recently put out by the FTC, requiring that if you are doing auto renew, you absolutely have to be very, very careful on your disclosures to ensure that patients and obviously all consumers are very well informed of what they're signing up for. So, so that really just touches on 2 things, which is, first and foremost, it's extremely hard to keep up with renewals, changes in pricing within the practice if you're raising your fees, but also compliance is a serious issue and should be taken seriously by all practices. So, when you're signing up a subscription. So, so I think from if you're a small practice and you're running a very small membership program just to try it out, by all means, try it out in-house. But once you realize that it should be part of your arsenal, then you should absolutely look at a vendor, because there is no way to run these programs efficiently and professionally and without taxing your front office without software. So how do you evaluate the vendors? I know we've got a lot of great competitors and people doing really interesting work in the space. So I think the best vendors, I think what we bring to the table, honestly, is, the best product, bar none, both in terms of its ease of use, but also the fact that it does integrate with the practice management system, which brings a lot of value to the practice, but also the team. Recently our team actually went on its first offsite, and what came away from that was part of, us trying to define what our mission is. And what we landed on is that we are darn good people. And we kind of like that sentence, because honestly, we care. We really do care that the practice does well with these plans. And so that means we're not just selling you software and riding off into the sunset. We will follow up frequently after the rollout. And our customer support is excellent. You can look at our Google reviews. We have 27 5-star reviews, which is more than any other vendor by multiples. So we just think that the combination of a great product and a great team positions Plan Forward, best in the space. Now, there are other vendors out there, and they definitely have valuable attributes. There are some with great product and good teams, but I do feel like knowing that your customer support team is there by your side and will get back to you within an hour or two, no matter when you call, I think is very, very valuable. Especially, office managers are super busy. They can't.
So I think that you have now, through our conversation, I've got 3 or 4 more questions. So it's obviously that we have to do another podcast because there's a couple ones. But I got to say real quick that the 2 things that I think that were amazing, and we'll go through this in another podcast, like I said, because we're definitely inviting you back, is one, the amount of softwares that you can connect to. That to me is gigantic, and I don't think people realize that. 2, the other thing that I think, which really is the reason why our partnership was very important to me, is one of our key things for us at Class Solutions is transparency. And you guys are very transparent with your customers and how you handle things. And one of the things that I think that shows for that, which is going to be the next show for us, because the compliancy. I've interviewed and I've met with all the different membership companies and stuff, and never once has anybody brought that up. And you guys had showed that to us, the importance of it and stuff, and I would have never thought of that. So to me, I appreciate the fact that you said, if you're a small practice, go out and try it yourself to get started and stuff. But I would sit there and say that compliancy issue is something that you better be careful with, though, because I did not, until meeting you, did not know that there was so many compliancy issues to think about. So I really appreciate that, and that you guys were transparent with us, but that you also are transparent, with your customers, and make sure that that's something that's being there, and being done for them. And those to me are big reasons why Plan Forward stands out versus other members. So any last words, Jane, before we send off this podcast out to the public?
Last words are only feel free to reach out. You can email me directly at jlevy@planforward.io. The IO is just to keep you on your feet. And no, it's been a pleasure. Stay warm. Looking forward to the start of spring for sure. But this has been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you very much, because like I said, I definitely want to dive into more of that compliancy and stuff like that as well. So appreciate you being here. So if you enjoyed our show, please rate, review us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Phil Cole with Class Solutions. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.